Hey, good morning, y'all. Welcome. It's inside out there. It's Sunday morning, so that means it's time for the Socialist Lounge, folks. Um, I'm going to be doing a piece later for my opinion, but I just wanted to talk to y'all for a little bit about this brand new stimulus. What it means for us, what they put in, what they took out, what they should have done in the first place, maybe. I don't know. A lot of people are very confused by what's been going on. Essentially, how bills pass is the House comes up with a version that they like, and it was big. It was huge. I'd read up to like 889 amendments, and I started getting tired of reading it. So I can understand why our people that are in charge have a problem with giant bills. I mean, who the hell wants to read all that in less than 3 hours and then make a decision that affects millions of people, depending on who your representative is? So, once the House comes up with their version and they pass it, then they send it to the Senate, and then the Senate will fiddle around with it and make it more plausible, so that each of the states are equally represented, or the party line is, properly represented and what they want to get in the bill. So then the Senate will mutz around and they'll change the bill and then they'll pass it on their own end. So it then has to go back to the House so the House can look at what they did and then see if they approve by their constituency. And then if they pass that again with everything that they've added or taken away, then it finally gets to go to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden can sign it, and then we can all move along happily. Um, there was a couple of situations where the Republicans basically were like, well, if you don't put this in or you don't remove these things, then we're never going to pass it. And it turns out that it really didn't matter anything that the Senate did because no Republican passed it. They never really cared. The Republicans in the House, they've at least, tried to work with the Democrats because they have to. Otherwise, they'll never get anything done in the House. I mean, it'll still pass because the Democrats have the majority, but it's really their only place to fight anymore. They can no longer, hold that Senate majority. The filibuster is still annoying. The Electoral College needs to go. Uh, yeah, honestly, the fight for 15 should not have been attached to this at all. I mean, yeah, we should raise the minimum wage. That's just common sense. It will help people in the long run. It won't cost that many jobs. I mean, even universal basic income has worked in California. So, yeah, if it can work there, it can work almost anywhere. And there's a report on that, and I can show you all later on how UBI actually does help. Um, but anyway, back to the stimmies. So, for the most part, the Republicans wanted a few things. They wanted to make sure that vaccines were taken care of, that they were heavily funded, and that all the states would get access to them equally, and that certain people like Governor DeSantis can't sit there and sell them to the highest bidder, which is a good thing. You want these kind of things in. But then again, they also were trying to put in stuff like, okay, no illegal aliens have access to stimuluses. Well, technically, if they don't pay taxes and they don't have a social security number, they're not getting our benefits. Stop worrying about illegal aliens. They're not the problem. uh, sad, 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 sad. And another thing that the Republicans made sure that they got in the bill was that businesses would not be held liable if you got sick or dead from COVID, um, which is pretty terrible, to tell you the truth. I mean, that's how little they care about your lives or your livelihood. So remember that the next time they try to call you an essential worker or they put a stupid commercial on TV thanking you for all your work, well, guess what? They can do that. They can spend all their money on that because they don't have to worry about fucking lawsuits when you sue their asses because you fucking died of COVID. So, yeah, that's real nice of them. The Democrats, they pretty much, they just wanted to put as many things in there that could help people. And of course, the Republicans don't want to spend any fucking money. We understand this. I mean, we've always understood this. They just don't want to spend money. They don't care. And so they bitched and moaned about, well, who deserved to get any money? So they pissed and moaned back and forth, but now people making up to $80,000 a year by themselves have access to it. Um, Obviously, less money than the people who make less than $75,000 a year. I don't understand how that $5,000 makes you somehow better off. But, and then they also wanted to make sure that unemployment got through. But God forbid you get $500 or $400. So they pushed that shit back to $300. But at least you're still getting unemployment benefits till September 6th is when they have to pass another resolution on it. So thankfully that'll be done. Um, yeah. So if Biden gets a hold of it by next week, your checks should start coming out by next week, um, depending on when you filed your taxes. So if you filed your taxes already, your stimulus check is almost ready to go again as soon as it gets passed by Biden. So that's a good sign. So at least he's working. He's doing something. I mean, is he the greatest president yet? No, he hasn't even been in office for 3 months. Like, give him a shot. Like, come on. I mean, I wasn't expecting great things, but he's actually done a bit. Not enough, obviously, but then again, look what he was left. Not much. He had to start all of this from the ground running, which is very hard to do for anybody, let alone somebody who's been in Congress for 40 some years like Mr. Biden, and he knows the ins and outs of the system, he knows the people, so he can actually work with them, which is some kind of a benefit. Not a huge one because, again, you're dealing with Republicans who don't want to spend any money. So, let me see. What other questions do people have about the stimulus? I pretty much covered most of it. What they took in, what they took out. There's a couple of little nitpicky things here or there. Like I said, that the Republicans are they're imaginary. They're problems. Like, again, illegal aliens don't get any benefits. Um, they also wanted to make sure that teachers got a bump in pay, which did happen. So that's a plus. But all around, I mean, it's not everything we asked for, but we needed this 10 months ago. 10 fucking months. People have been suffering. And the small business packages that they have, they're pretty good. The new loans for small businesses to help them stay afloat. But again, like I said, the Republicans wanted more money for that. So, yeah. Anyway, but that's where we sit. So hopefully the House doesn't get too nitpicky with what they changed because there really wasn't much. There's not much of a difference between the House's bill and the Senate one. Other than the fact that they're spending $1.9 trillion, people better start seeing a return on their investment. Otherwise, by 2022, the midterms are going to be wild, y'all. Nobody's going to want to vote these people back in. So stay informed, stay classy, and we'll see you later.